Hello. Good evening, everyone. Sorry if I'm late a little bit. I had once more issues with ZBrush just because my PC is starting to act up since my scenes are becoming bigger and bigger. And yeah, the sad news is right now the sculpt that I'm usually working on is too heavy for my PC. So I mean I won't be able to work on that. So, the upside to it is actually we'll improvise in that case. So one thing that I wanted just to tackle for fun, and since we're here to actually have some fun, uh, I just found some concept of Genji from Overwatch. So I think that's what I'm gonna do in 1 hour and a half. I don't expect something amazing, but we can you can see at least my process from where I start from and how I work. So yeah, and the other thing is actually one big news is actually the game I'm working on has been announced this week at E3, which is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So yeah, I've been working on it for a year now, and yeah, now they're showing it unfortunately I can say what I did in the trailer, but I can tell you that I didn't do much in that trailer. Most of the stuff that I did on the game is not yet revealed. So yeah, so usually where I like to start is by the way, I'm gonna show you my reference. It's I'm just gonna start with that like and basically where I start usually it's I just go with the torso. So and then after that I will grow the rest out of it. So I'll just, and it doesn't need to be super clean. I'll go in Dynamesh. I could go into Sculptris Pro, but at this stage it's I rather have everything super kind of rough low res to manipulate, and because none of those details will stay in the end. So it's only to sculpt the rough shapes. And yeah, since we're on a short blitz, I don't think I'm gonna have time to do arms or the lower body part like legs and even the waist. I'm gonna probably stay at the torso kind of so yeah, so now I don't really care what it looks like. I'm just trying to form a head, leave enough space for the chin. And then shoulders. It's more like a guideline for me, just to know I have a reference point. So I'm trying to look only on the big forms of the concept. So that's the first ones I'm gonna be putting down, because the thing is yeah, I don't have a front angle, but it's I'm constantly looking the relationship between parts, and that's how I measure when I go sculpting. So and for this, since this character is pretty much symmetrical, I'm going to use it. you know, most of the time I use it and I remove the symmetry afterwards, but sometimes I'll, like on purpose, like there's like, you know, if a character got like a different arm, I will just like shut off the symmetry, work on that arm, and then when I go back to symmetrical areas, then bring back the symmetry. So yeah, like the purpose like here is not like to, the reason why I like to go fast is just like I'm not wasting time on on stuff to be refined. I'm just like trying like to go for the big shapes and just go for what's important in the silhouette of the character. Hey, what's up guys? Sometimes that's one of the things, like I will literally like put my sculpt in the same angle as the concept and then sculpt with that angle, and I'm always like kind of looking at the, you know, silhouette side over here and then the interior, and then I'm just like trying to match that. Okay, so I can't remember if this dude got like a some kind of ponytail or, I don't think so. So we're starting like to see like, you know, something. We're like still quite far, but at least we're going to you know, to have the big forms to work from. Ryan, you're asking like the subdivision level? What do you mean? Right now, like because Dynamesh doesn't work with subdivision levels, so I got no subdivision levels, and I think I'm at like 128 for so. But yeah, it's the way I go usually is just like by feeling. I want it like to be, you know, still like soft enough that I can like deform it easily, but not too soft that it's hard to deform. But usually, yeah, just a usual sphere with, you know, 128 is actually like a good start, which is I think like the default values for it. So like you can see, like everything seems to be like pretty messy. And right now my dude doesn't have any neck, so. So once again, I know it's probably not what I'm gonna keep for later, but at least I'm giving myself some space to go work. And one of the big thing is, like, you know, of course, if you don't want to deform too much, you can you just like grow your move tool, and if you need like just to you know, deform quite a bit, then you just have like a smaller brush. I know it, you know, it's probably like making a lot of sense to most of you, but I just had to say it. Another thing is, like, sometimes I find it like a little bit annoying, you know, see like all those ripples from the clay tubes. So that's why like I got the roll distance, which is in modify. No, wait, where is my stroke? Roll distance. So by increasing this, you're actually repeating the alpha. So now, you know, you're getting something smooth. So some people like the happy accident that it creates, but for me, for this, since I'm not designing or anything like that, I don't really need it. I'd rather work clean. It will just be easier later to clean up. Sometimes I'll use the clay tube, like if I want like a more not clay tube but clay, just if I want to have like a more even surface and smoother, because this like creates like kind of a hard kind of edges, stuff like that. So if I'm blocking out a shape, I prefer it because it exaggerate like everything, you know, you see a lot more of the forms going in, coming out. But when I just want to fill in cavities, just like to bring like his belly closer, then you know that's what I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, for the new folks that just join in, I'm kind of rushing through to just like block out Genji from Overwatch. So and yeah, the main idea is like try to go fast, put down like the main feature of that character, and then readjust along the way. So by measuring the distance between parts and have like something as close as possible to the real character model. So yeah, when you start having like something without enough resolution, then you can always Dynamesh it. So that's the beauty of working rough. If something doesn't work out proportionally, it's like no worry, you know. You're just like, even if you're breaking the thing, it's all right. It was not defined, so all of those were just like landmarks for as guidelines. So do any of you play Overwatch, or am I the only one? I don't play often. I play like sometimes from time to time during lunchtime at work. But yeah, that's pretty much all the free time that I get from to play that game. And yeah, I just really love the whole character design. I think they did like a terrific job. Well, you know, the whole game is actually super good, but I mean, like for me, like the bigger appeal is really the characters. But yeah, it seems to have been like successful at pretty much everything in that game. You know, maps and modes, and even the way they handle the whole live thing. It's pretty cool. Okay, so once again, my friend AccuCurve with the move to bring out some kind of spikes that he got that looks like ears. Oh yeah, I think think he got like some kind of bandana like in the back. Okay, I'll wait for that. That will be like a separate detached piece. Trying to look from all the angles. And sometimes I think that's the trick. If you're struggling with like a specific part, you just like try to sculpt it from different angles, and you know, so sometimes like magically it will go back to the right spot, and then when you look from, you know, at the angle that you were struggling with, then everything will be resolved. So you got like super interesting forms in there. So yeah, I'll get back at the chat if you guys got like any questions. I'll just check quickly in a few seconds, and then if nobody got a question, then we'll just go back and continue that that sculpting. Okay, I think I'll add like parts of the arms, because I feel without them it's harder like to define the silhouette. Probably noticed that I'm not really like going for the, well, he doesn't really have like any eyes, but anything resembling to eyes, usually I'll try to wait for it as much as I can, up until, you know, like I find it like so annoying that I will just like go do them. And because the thing is, like, for some reason, like but I think it's like a human thing. It's like, you know, you're always looking back when you see eyes, you're kind of, you know, your basically your view gets attracted to, you know, eyes. And usually if you know, mess up the eyes, or did the eyes, then you know you will tend to always look back at that as like a point of focus. So that's why like I would rather like wait a while before I tackle them, because I can focus more on the body and not the rest of the and not the face. So any questions? Uh, by the way, my mics work. Like the last time I completely forgot, but I kind of put my sound off. Yeah, okay, it's working. Yeah, yeah. I never try actually Fortnite, but yeah, or like it's pretty good too. So, but yeah, that's the thing. I feel like those games, man, they're so addictive that yeah, I like them, but sometimes I kind of stay away from it for a while. Even at work, like I on purpose, like because I wanted like to do other stuff. I just like uninstall the game because yeah, it was like always like an addict. I always like wanted to go back. So yeah, that's always like an annoying bit. But you know, there's a there's a solution for it, which is back face mask found like in brush. Uh, Auto masking and back face mask. So, and if this doesn't work, then you can try topology. But usually, like I keep topology for last because sometimes it slow down like way too much my ZBrush. So I think he got like an angle at some point. So. And that part is tough. You know, when I was like mentioning the Dynamesh, I tried to keep it with a good setting. I think that's a good example of when my I feel like the geometry, like you know, let's compare it like to clay, it becomes to be too soft that it's hard to. Right now, like I'm trying to keep like a hard edge, like on the center of this, and every time I'm struggling to so much, and we can see that it's actually pretty kind of low res, you know. And that's why it's so hard to keep it, and it's like so sensitive as well. if I play with it, you know, it will deform like super easily compared to like other section of the bodies I was working on. So I think that's a good time to, you got two choices. Like you can go with, you know, not ZBrush, but Dynamesh, or you can go with the Sculptris thing. But since, you know, I still need like to grow stuff and all, and I will need like to use Dynamesh like in the future quite a bit, so I think I'm just gonna keep using it, but I will be, you know, reasonable and just go for 200 instead of going too far. So now if we look back, you know, now we got like a lot more geometry, so it might be easier to do that. Just because like the shoulders are like kind of annoying, I'll just, oops, isolate, and then sharpen the edge with the dim stander. Does he got like a wave? Oh yeah, I think so. So this is supposed to go up. Okay, right now like the whole shape of the head is actually pretty off, so if you guys got like a skull or a head that you already made, sometimes it's not bad to just put it in there. And okay, I think I'm starting to see something. That's one of the things, like, you know, since you're looking at me right now, that must be like annoying, but you know, sometimes like that's the thing I do, like I tap quite a bit. It's just because like I got like those, when I do like a stroke, it's probably like the lazy artist in me, but it's like my usually I do a stroke like this, you know, like basically it's from the elbow, yeah, and the thing is, since my elbow is actually on the table, instead of lifting my arm and then doing a stroke, I'm kind of using it as an anchor, and then and since, you know, since I'm like, you know, it's in like an angle like that, and when I do a stroke, it's like with that direction, so I'll move my mesh to like this perfect direction. I feel like it's kind of stupid, but it's I when I do that, I got like better straight lines, just because I guess I got like an anchor point for my elbow. So that's why like sometimes I'm just like tapping like this just to find that angle that it's the same one as my tablet, and then, you know, when I do my stroke, it's not always perfect, but yeah, when I do my stroke, it tends to be straighter. And the reason why I do this like mainly for when I'm doing like some kind of speed sculpt or anything like that, it's just because for the sake of speed. I know that I got like a lazy mouse, but I don't want to go in and play with the settings to have like something like super smooth. Would like to have like a nice line later on when I'm sculpting and refining the thing, but I'm not like speed sculpting this thing, then I will definitely use lazy mouse. But for now, I just want to go fast. That skull is pretty weird. And right now, like I've said, like I don't really worry if it's like 100% accurate, it's more like you know, I know that this guy like got like this huge kind of visor forehead, which I'm trying to already like sculpt in, and even if I don't have the right proportions or right angles, at least I got my part, you know, broken down in it. So because later on, you know, let's just say like, you know, I'm finishing this up, and you know, then I'll look at, you know, okay, my forehead, you know, when I look at this, what's the distance between this and this in my sculpt versus like in my image. Like if I bring back my image just so we can see like clearly, it's like, you know, if I start like measuring between, you know, the distance, right now it's harder because it's like in a 3/4 angle, but still, like, you know, if you start measuring, okay, this distance is like, you know, I don't know, like the end of the eye is almost reaching like the, you know, this region of the helmet. So when I do my helmet, then I'll try like to restrain, or like those two dots are actually like almost aligned with the corner of this, uh, you know, down, you know, visor at the bottom. Same thing with like I don't know, just like, you know, when I was working on the back, just when I was working on the back, one of the things that I noticed, I didn't see it, but I noticed it, you know, like I'm doing like this thing, and then where's my image? Okay, and yeah, if you look at it, you know, there's like those bars that I did, which are like the same bars as those ones. I know that they're still like pretty far shape wise, but still, like I put them in, and then you got like this plate underneath, which is like the scapula, and then from there, then you get the three dots. But if you look in the concept, those three dots, they're actually pretty high. You know, they're not like in the middle of the back. They're like more over here, and this is actually overlapping on top. So that's why, like, when I'm talking about measurement, it's like I'm glad I didn't actually refine those, because you know, usually like any artist, when you spend so much time on something, you don't want to break it or anything like that. So in this case, like, I don't really mind. You know, you saw like how much time it actually took to do that, so I don't really mind, like, you know, erasing it and then reposition it properly. But it would be like so hard to reposition it if I didn't do like the scapula and that part. So it's like with all that mindset, same thing with like the damn, I completely forgot the name, the vertebra of the spine. Like the, you know, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see like that circle? It's like at pretty much at the same level as the third one, and it's pretty much like in, well, it's not really in the center because once again we're like in an angle, but still, it's still, you know, it's quite forward and not really backward. So it's all the stuff that we'll need like to keep, you know, in mind. So, and you know, another thing is like when I was like talking about the silhouette, it's like the, you know, you got like those three things like on his shoulder, and from here they look almost like if they're actually inside the shoulder, and I guess like from over here, like the shoulder must be pretty flush, but when you look at this one, then it's like sticking out a little bit. So it might be like two things, like probably, you know, it could be like an artist error, or it could be like something that's going to be like animated in game. I don't think it's the case right now, but you know, sometimes like it's the stuff that could push in or push out. So in that case, you know, you would, maybe you would like play around and vary it. But yeah, I'm just gonna continue where I was at. So how's my chat going? Everybody's chilling. Completely forgot my you know, I like usually my cell phone to monitor Facebook, so I apologize for the guys on Facebook. I'm with you in spirit. But yeah, so what's up? Hey David, what's up from Montreal? My used to be home. About Dynamesh versus, well, no, for me, like Sculptris Pro is like, you know, it's like two different things. It's like Dynamesh, it's cool because sometimes I would rather like grow stuff out of it and just have like a rough like that. But when I'm done with that kind of a blocking phase, then I'll go in and then use the Sculptris Pro like just to refine my parts. It's mainly like the main reason why I kind of still like Dynamesh quite more than the Sculptris Pro is really more because of the speed. It's just a question of speed because I feel like sometimes even if you're like going in and having like a really tiny brush, you're adding like so much detail that I feel that it's, you know, it's taking too much power. And with this I can still like keep speed and but yeah, I'm still, you know, I'm saying that, but like I'm always like kind of updating my pipeline. And the Sculptris Pro, I'm still like finding new ways to use it. So right now I'm saying that, but who knows? Maybe like in 1 month I'll say something else. So yeah. So another thing is like for this, it's like it's, you know, I'm not really talking about it, but it's like I'm clearly digging inside of my anatomy knowledge of the human body, the human form. So I mean, like it's from there, like, you know, there's no real trick. You know, I think if you work on the human body, like any type of anatomy study, I think it will pay off afterwards if you need to. I know sometimes it might not be like the most fun thing to do, but it's yeah, it's always something that it will like build up in the back of your mind, and then it will reflect in everything that you do, like character wise. So I think it's just like a good long-term investment. Even if you're saying like, you know, no, but you know, I never do like human bodies, or I only do like monster and stuff like that. I still feel it's uh it's relevant. So still struggling with the proportions. See, like right now what I'm gonna do is just like I'll dig up my anatomy knowledge and then just put some landmarks for me as a guide. So because right now I feel like this whole area feels kind of awkward. So I'm just gonna put my landmarks in, and then you know, once again I'll just go with what I remember, and hopefully everything will fall back in place and look better. It's always like, you know, you're like pulling out and then you're losing too much of the silhouette, so you pulling back in, and once more, like I feel it's a problem of not having the complete body. So I know I said I only wanted to do like the upper torso, but once again, like since I don't have like anything to reference back, then I got like a hard time knowing where I'm going with the proportions, since now like my pieces start to be pretty much all in place. So yeah, I know that you guys already answered that, but yeah, I just started from
Oh
sphere.
yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks for the follow. And yeah, I just started from a Z-sphere and check where I could actually go with that. See right now, like that, those proportions, man, they're just crazy. So once more, I know that usually with like a muscular man, you got like the V shape of the back, which is like the Syria anterior. And it's supposed to be sticking out a little bit more. Yes, it's Genji. Just like a rough pass on the character. So I think that's a good sign. If you guys can already guess who it is, then. But you know, that's another thing. Like, you know, I think Blizzard, you know, deserve a lot of credit for. It's like how, you know, easy it is like to remember them or know exactly, you know, which character is what. I think they got like such a strong, iconic look. I mean, for the most of them, like that, it's like so easy to for someone like to. Man, I can't find my words. I guess I'm tired or something. But yeah, just like to notice them and know exactly which character it is. Oh, I'm doing on time. Okay, 9:25. Okay. That's one of the craziest thing. Like if you guys ever did that, like just like Speed Sculpt, and then you put yourself like a timer or something. I mean, you know, usually time fly by fast, but this is just like exponential. It's crazy fast, and but it's quite a lot of fun because it's it's uh, it's fun to see like how fast you progress on your sculpture, and sometimes just by going with blitz like that and then going back gives you like a fresh eye. So it feels like, you know, by going fast and doing like only like bursts of sculpting, it will um, it will allow you like to focus always on the right things. And of course, the more you do it, the better you're at it. So I mean, the focus part, speed too, but I mean like just like to narrow down like what's the essence of the character. Yeah, I'm kind of breaking this, but once more, I know that like you know what I'm doing right now, it's way too big versus the concept, but it's all part of the putting down like details for alignment, because you know from there, since now I put like the three dots, I can it will be like easier to align my stuff, and I know like at the same time like my surface how it looks, you know, because now I can know like, okay, you know, we're so far from something perfectly round. And right now I'm that's another thing, like I'm trying to keep everything as a whole. You know, eventually if I would actually render this out, I would, you know, to a certain point I would just like do a mask and then extract that part and then work it as a separate one. And you know, I think you guys saw like, you know, what I'm doing with this like usually. But yeah, just in case somebody actually missed that part, I'm just gonna quickly do it, but I don't want to be spending too much time again, because I'm showing this like maybe like probably way too much during my stream. So let's just say like I'm happy with it, then I'll do like an extract, put 0 value, no smooth, okay, accept, and then I got my top shell, which is over here. Usually that's the thing, before I remove the mask I always like try to do like a group mask, and because for some reason it always takes more than what I need, so from there I'll delete the hidden part. So I'll Dynamesh to a really low value, because you know this is like our surface stuff, and you know if you look back, you know, at our concept, this surface is like super smooth, so that's why like I will just do that. And you know, for all the borders are like super messy, then you got two choice. You got like the formation, you got like polish by group or by feature or a crisp edge, you know, depending on, you know, the result. Sometimes you will prefer one to another, but see now like my borders are like cleaning themselves up, so even if the centers actually get, you know, washed out, it's alright. I'm still having like guides for the holes and all, so from there I could always like go back. I did the move, but you could do an inflate. But yeah, right now like it's, you know, I've done this like way too quick. You know, usually like I've said, I don't go into that mode too quick, but you know, let's just say that's what you needed. You need like, you know, all of this, but after that, if you need thickness for this, since it's gonna be like a shell of armor, edge loop, oops, 0 polish, 0 bevel, elevation minus, 0 loop, and then I will just like try to find the right thickness. So, and then you can always like do, since we're already like in 0 poly groups, you can do a crease, and let's put, usually it's like between 2 or 3 for our surface, crease by poly group border. So right now you see all my edge. If you got like something more specific, like a corner that you need like to, let's just select this corner right here, it doesn't have any bevel, so I'll go into the ZBrush, go back in, oops, go back in, and then select my edge, go to crease, where are you, crease, single edge, I'll add some, or depending, like you can remove some as well. So if you press Alt, I'm removing some, adding some, and you can go like, right now I did like crease by edge, but you can go by loop or whatever. And then once you're happy, then divide it, then that's how you're creating your shop. So, and from there, there's even like cooler stuff that stuff like I mentioned the last time, like when you go to the plugins, you can go um, into the UV master and you can select polygroups and it will unfold. Like if I go back to over here, you will make like UVs on your depending on your polygroups. So like every time that you get like a two polygroup touching, it will create a scene. So you can already like do, you know, write UVs for your iris model, which is yeah, it's I think it's pretty cool. I use it like quite a lot more than enable control UV painting. And of course, if you need like to rearrange your UV layout because you want to use the noise maker for some specific pattern or a specific direction, then you can do the work on clone. You will, you know, in there you can actually just like move around your UV and then do a copy paste. Well, no, go flatten, copy paste. Well, you know, once again, like it's been a while since I did that procedure, but it works well. But yeah, I'll try like to go back once if I get like a chance of having like a UV that I need to read back. So we'll just get back to the. I hope I didn't lose you guys. Oops. What the hell? Okay. It's like a blitz of sculpting and then the blitz of explanation and then the blitz of going back to sculpting. It's a challenge for me, I can tell you that. The good part is like that I'm not really stressed out to make something beautiful. I don't think it will be. I think it's just like the more like a technique showcase and an emergency plan because of my yeah, for those who actually missed it, like usually I work like on another mesh, but for some reason like tonight, like it's I guess like my computer is getting too old and my file too big and it doesn't want to open up anymore, so I'll need like to find a solution for that. Like probably open it like on another computer stronger and just I don't know, export like it to a different subtools. I get, you know, lower the amount of subtool by splitting it like into different Z tools. So yeah, I completely forgot to ask. Usually I always ask when the stream starts, but where are you guys from? In what corner of the world are you watching that? Unfortunately, I don't have like access to Pixelogic analytics, so I don't know who's watching from where, but I surely like to know. And yeah, this is actually streamed from Quebec City in Canada. So no, thanks, Paolo. Thank you, my man. Spain, that's awesome. One of the game that it's like made in Spain that I kind of really like the character design is the game called Raiders of the Broken Planet. I think it's like the guys who actually used to do Castlevania. I think that's pretty cool what they were able to achieve character wise and all, and even the game, like the fact that it's actually successful uh, by going at their own like IP and all of that. So I think they're even like publishing it by their own. Trying to find the right spot. That's a quick way to do cylindrical. I just do like I just like spin my brush around because like the square is actually turning, so it creates like some kind of circle. So yeah, if you need like to do that for your sketches, then go ahead. I feel like it's a good way to do like a rough cylindrical shape, so you don't need like to worry about getting appending like a cylindrical cylinder and put it in place. Right now, I don't know if it's the concept is actually not accurate, but it feels like this line is like not perfectly centered. The brush that I've been using up until this point are basically the clay tubes, the clay, the H polish, and the dam standard. Those are pretty much like the main brushes that I've been using to do this. See, like right now, like we can, now that I'm like refining the belly area, or you know, ribs and abs, like you can clearly notice that the chest plate are like way too small versus like the rest of the, so this will need to be fixed. But at least, you know, I'm getting like this part kind of decent, like proportion wise, and yeah. It's I feel like it's a lot easier to sculpt quickly and modify stuff without, you know, being afraid of breaking something. Or I know, like, you know, sculptors, some of them like would rather like start right away with, you know, to look at the piece and they already to like a block out in max, or have it like already split apart, and I think that's a great way to go. It really depends on style and what fits you best. But I feel for me, it's I kind of like being loose, and from there, like because I can use this technique like for designing and for sculpting, like from reference, like from a specific concept. So and speed is always good because it gives you like more time to experiment with stuff or try new stuff without worrying too much about time and, you know, delivering on time and stuff like that. So because I think like experimenting is very like one of the most fun and most important step to do, because I feel that's how you improve or progress or define your own style. If you always like stay in safe boundaries, then it's a lot more to it's a lot harder to develop yourself and grow from there. Okay, so just helping to define the block before I go in, and right now I've been using mostly H polish, but sometimes trim dynamic can be a good thing as well. It's more aggressive, but it really blocks out the. You just need like to be I guess like it's harder to control because it's easy like to just wreck something. So we'll define a little bit more of the hips. Sometimes some of the shapes are like harder to read, but I just like try to simplify them. Thank you, John. The number of sculpture, like right now, I got 4 sculpture, you know, that I've been like prepping and tested out on. But yeah, I only got like 1 out of those 4 that has been like, you know, printed. Well, I don't. I mean, like when I say printed, it's more like completed, because the others I'm still like testing stuff out with them, so I don't I don't think they're still ready yet, because yeah, it's more because like I'm experimenting as well to see like how far I go with printing. And yeah, sometimes like the way how I will build something in ZBrush will help out quite a bit in printing, and that's basically the good stuff that where I want to get at. But yeah, I'm just like slowly getting into it. Unfortunately, since I work during the day at the game company, I don't have like as much time as I would want to do more 3D printing stuff. So that's why like right now it's like a kind of an excuse to do some. But yeah, at some point, like right now, like from my previous stream, I'm mostly like, you know, sculpting. I didn't really never ever, you know, went into doing keys and stuff like that, but that's definitely something I hope to get to at some point, and you know, share my knowledge. But you know, like I'm so far from being an expert. I'm just like trying stuff, and it's like try and error. So yeah, so I'll, you know, I'll share my experiments and, you know, what worked and what did not. So if it can help you out, guys, then cool. I just want to get those. You know, I'm kind of struggling right now with those things. I'm trying to simplify them as much as I can. But yeah, and of course, like I need like to bring them back from over here. And once again, like I know that they already did like a 3D model of this, but I don't know. I like kind of really like the concept, and I'll try like to push as far as I can with the concept, just to see like, you know, where I can go with it, and then compare it with what's been done in 3D, and then understand all the parts that I missed out. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like right now, like, you know, I'm struggling quite a bit. So, and you know, instead of just like trying like to just like, you know, power through it, I'll just like leave it there and then go back later to fix that. So I'll go back to my those things, my my chest plates. Yes, 7 might. I got a stream channel. It's just look for you know, right now I don't see my screen, but at the bottom of the channel, not my channel. Sorry about that, man. I'm like making mistakes, but at the bottom of the stream, like there's a bar, and there's like all the anchors that you see are basically the name of my social media, and there's like one for Twitch, and it's like Giroux Sculpt, which is the same name as my website. So yeah, if you just search for that on Twitch, you should find my channel. So yeah, I was supposed to. It needs to be bigger, stronger, and clearly nicer. So I'll go back on the helmet. Bouncing around.
Oh, yeah.
You caught me by surprise. That sound. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I just I guess I'm stressed. I'm stressed
Yeah.
out. Oh yeah, keep on going. It's awesome. But yeah, you know, I apologize like for tonight. I don't know what's happening. Like I'm so tired. Like I can barely speak fluently. So some say it's always like that, but I feel tonight is like worse than most of the time. I guess the E3 just burned me out. I didn't even go, but just watching it online, you know. uh, but that's clearly one of the things that I know that there's already people doing it, but just doing like characters from games like that, and just doing like some kind of fan art and then printing them. I think that would be something cool that I'd like to do, maybe on this channel. So I'm still like, you know, for project wise, I'm still like figuring out what I'd like to do, or you know, at some point like I'd like to get you guys involved and then, you know, make suggestion if you'd like to see like a, you know, for this case like Genji or any other character, like we're like talking about Castlevania, the studio that make Castlevania, so you know it could be one of the characters from that, or and then you know we could basically build it together and then print it. So and that's one of the things that I'd like to do as well, would be you know, if I get the chance to make those printable, then you know I would probably like share them for free. So if you want to take a look at the models or print them like yourself, then of course like as a learning thing, and not to make money out of it, but yeah, just you know, just for your own usage, we'll just say. I think yeah, I think it would be cool for everyone, because in the end, you know, if I'm making it for me, then yeah, it's like only for fun. You know, there's no reason why I wouldn't share it. And of course, you know, I don't own those characters, so I mean the copyrights. So, but yeah, now I see like the time is pretty much done. So yeah, this is our Genji. It's been done in what, like an hour and 30 minutes. You know, of course there's still like many stuff to be polished and refined, but still I feel like we kind of achieved like a decent you know, I'm saying decent, but like average kind of, or below average depending, but of what our character Genji looked. So yeah, this so have a great weekend, guys, and I hope I'll be able to catch you soon. Yeah, in the meantime, I'll try like to repair my my Z-Till and add like something to sculpt back, and yeah, and if not, then I guess we'll just continue on Genji. You know, let me know like if you got like a preference. Well, I'll try to manage and do that. So yeah, take it easy, everyone. Bye bye.